So, hello and welcome to everyone who is here live. If you're new to this group, if you are, hello, if you are new to this group, this meditation practice, what we usually do is we get started, we turn our cameras on, we come together, we go live on YouTube or we go live on Discord, and then we wait about 10 minutes to give people time to join in, because really the focus of this is not to make a YouTube video. The focus of this is not to make any kind of recording, but rather this is a group meditation practice that we do live together, and some of our community members are not able to join as we are live. So because of that, we have the recording and we do it live on YouTube, okay? So we will take a few minutes, about 8 minutes, 9 minutes to get started. Before we get started, anyone have something to say or want to make sure that you can hear me, you can see me, everything like that? Yeah?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Christine, nice to see you. And whoa, Christine and Christina, nice to see both of you. Yeah, and Scott and AD, glad you're here, AD. Just going to make an announcement on the Discord so everyone knows we are live. Oh, to start the event. Oh, so I move everyone to the Sangha space. We have two channel over here for some reason, so sometime we in the wrong one. Okay. Pop out. Oh. Okay. So we can all start to get comfortable finding our meditation positions. Hello to Elder Older and Susan joining through YouTube. And I can see AD, Anushka, David, Christina and Christine, Scott, Stephanie, Courtney, Derek, Gabe, Jay, Cagnall, May, Nikki, Sophia, and Viraj. So we have a lot of people joining us together. We actually have a new person here at the temple who's gone through a lot of loss recently, and they're coming to stay and practice meditation and to do good deeds here at our center in southern Italy. And the title of our event this evening is The Warmth of Zen Evening Meditation. So maybe it's not evening for you, but surely you can empathize that it is the evening somewhere. It's evening here. So that's why it's the evening for us. So in just another 3 minutes, we will officially get started. And if you're watching through YouTube, make sure to say hello and to let me know, let everyone who's here know that you're joining in and participating. This is meant to be a live community practice. Life is happening here and now. Anna is here. Mickey is here. What's this man's name? Maurizio. Maurizio is here also. So he cannot understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, but he's here to practice and to listen. You can tell him that it's a similar experience I have had when I live in Myanmar, when I live in Asia, because I listen to many talks, many times, but no English.
Io ho avuto un'esperienza simile a quella che stai avendo te, perché quando era in Germania ascoltava tanti discorsi che non erano in inglese, quindi lui si sedeva, meditava, però non riusciva a capire cosa il maestro nuovo diceva.
So this evening we will have some introduction, some remembering of what is meditation, how do we practice it, and we will utilize some of the ancient teachings from Zen masters of the past to warm us, to refresh us, to embolden us to be fully here at this moment with the body and mind as they are. What is happening right now? Not something else. This is happening right now. So in meditation, we establish ourselves in that. We establish ourselves in this independence, in this freedom, in this unconditional peace, peace that is not dependent upon conditions. And hello there to John and Rosa and Kit and Suraj. And of course, Susan and Dassy, who are here watching through YouTube. So we really do have a large gathering of people here. We've got 25 people here in our Sangha space, in our group meditation call. We've got about 10 people online through YouTube, and we have 3 people here at the center. I would ask for the people in the Discord group, if you are not planning to join, if you're just here out of curiosity, please do allow other people to have the spot. But if you're here to practice, you're in the right place. You don't need to go anywhere. Don't need to worry. So to officially begin, I will ring the bell. So the sound of the bell really invites us to be present, to come back to our true home, or to realize that we are home, that this is the moment of birth and death. This is the beginning and the ending of the universe. There's no other time, there's no other place. We're not going to die in the future. We weren't born in the past. This is our life, right here. So in meditation, and especially Zen, we practice to realize that. Moment by moment, breath by breath, having this kind of realization, not only of practicing, not only of applying our effort to do a certain method, to concentrate our mind, but also to know that this is what is happening right now. And it's quite a profound, insightful perspective to have, this knowing, this recognition that this is what is happening right now. Not something else, not some story, not some past issue that's waiting to come up, not some disaster that could find us in the future, but that actually this is what is happening right now. So we can take a few deep breaths to bring our mind, bring our awareness into the body. Really connect with the body as it is right now. We tend to be overly intellectual, overly focused on words and phrases. So when we hear that this is the way it is right now, it may be easy to think that that's referencing some kind of story, some kind of narrative or understanding we have about what's happening right now. But it's much more so to be fully aware of your body at this moment. We're very proud, we're very arrogant about, I have a toilet, I have a shower, I live in a house, I drive a car. So when we consider who am I, what is this, it's always some I. It's always some story about your life and what you do and what you like and what you don't like. So many words and phrases about this big special I. But where would this I be? Where would this self be, this character, without the body? Can you leave your body in the past? Can you bring your body with you to the future? It doesn't even make sense. So who am I? What is this? What is happening right now? Instead of relying on what someone else tells you, what seems to be true, what comes from a holy book, what you'd like to be true, looking into what is happening right now through awareness of the body at this moment. A technique that we can use to practice this is to breathe in deeply, bringing the mind home to the body, bringing the mind into the body. Start to notice, start to be aware, start to settle this constant running around, constant looking for the candy shop, looking for a sweet to put in our mouth. Stop it. There's no sweets here. Only the bitter medicine of being aware of the body. And there is a kind of sweetness to it. But we also find that when we start to be aware of the body, there might be some tension. There might be some difficulty. There might be some anxiety. There might be some tightness. We immediately say, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to the candy shop. But try to not react in that way, and instead to continue looking, to continue being with awareness of the body at this moment. Breathing in deeply, being aware of the heart, the stomach, and the lungs. There's a kind of pathway that the breath follows. We can follow that pathway and begin to be aware of the inside of our body. Just sitting here, breathing, being aware of the inside of our body. What is it like to have a body? We can bring our attention, our focus to our face. The face is very expressive. We oftentimes hold on strongly to our face as part of our self-identity. But from the inside, with your attention, with your awareness, what is it like to have a face? What is the experience of it like? The forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks and the cheekbones, the jaw, the teeth, the chin, from our face to the top of the head, the sides of the head, our ears, our bones, the skull, the brain, the whole head area. I'm guessing that everyone here has a head, but don't take my word for it. What is it like to have a head? It's not a concept. We're not a church of head believers here. What is it like? Look into it. What's the experience of it? And as we are looking with our attention, with our awareness in this way, the breath is like a lamp. It helps us to keep this quality of looking, of seeing, rather than getting caught up in the darkness, the confusion, the fog that we might find ourselves in. So staying with the breath and looking at the whole head area, what do you notice? Noticing without judgment, just being aware of the head. Breathing in deeply from the head, down the throat, the neck, into the clavicle, the shoulders, the muscles. Noticing any tension. Our awareness flowing down into the biceps, the triceps, the bones of the upper arm, down into the elbows, into the forearms and the wrists, the hands. Breathing and connecting with the body. Fully aware of our shoulders, arms, hands. Down into the chest, the region of the heart, the chest bone. Notice the spine. Where would we be without our spine? But how often do we neglect it? No wonder there are back problems. Giving full attention to the top of the spine, down into the upper back, the shoulder blades. Breathing deeply down into the lungs. The lungs are kind of a interesting part of the body because we would never really think about being our lungs. We always see the lungs in some ad about smoking or some kind of organ that's been removed from the body. But every time we breathe, every moment we can feel those lungs expanding, filling with air, and releasing. Taking a few moments to breathe with our lungs. Going down into the stomach. We can perhaps feel the breath deep in our belly. Can notice our navel region. Down into the lower back, the lower spine. Where the spine meets the pelvis, the groin, the butt. It's all there. Breathing and being aware of the pelvis area. If we want to know about our own body, we don't need to take an X-ray necessarily. We don't need to go to a body professional. We can actually know quite deeply about our body through giving our attention to the body. And a fundamental aspect of meditation practice, of spiritual practice, is connecting deeply with the body. To be aware of the body moment by moment. Breathing and releasing any tension in the butt or groin area. Relaxing. As we go from the butt and the pelvis, the groin, down into our inner and outer thighs, fat, muscle, bone, all the way down into our knees. Can take a moment to give extra attention to our knees. Quite important, quite prone to difficulty, can get worn out a little earlier than we'd like them to. So if we use our mind's eye, if we use our awareness, our attention, and we ask the question, what is it like to have knees? What do we find? What do we experience? Looking without expectation, looking without judgment. It's just to look, to notice, to connect with. We don't need to struggle to find the body. It's right there. It's right here. Moving from our knees down into the shins and the calves, all the way down to the ankles and the feet. The very soles of the feet, the very tips of our toes. Taking a deep breath as we hear the sound of the bell, becoming fully aware of the whole body sitting here at this moment. Just breathing and being aware of the body. So at this time we can relax. We can breathe and be aware of our bodies. And we will now bring into our practice and into our coming together the teachings of some Zen masters. For me, I've always found that Zen is a very particular flavor of spirituality, a very particular flavor of enlightenment teachings. And the only way to really appreciate and to listen to these teachings is from a not selfish perspective, a kind of intimacy, a sincerity, a wide open heart, a urgency that is so often supported by being in community like we are right now. So it's a wonderful opportunity to listen to some of these Zen teachings. And I consider, Mickey, before you do that, can you put some fire in that? So before we start to read some of these Zen teachings, we will blow some resin. So here at the temple in southern Italy, we have really wonderful kind of Mediterranean tropical trees here. And they produce a very fragrant, wonderful resin that you won't be able to smell, but you can see it. And we'll smell it here. And if you have some resin at home, you're invited to use that. But actually, this is a great analogy. To prepare resin, to use resin, actually you can put it on top of this. Yeah, put it right here. Yeah. So to prepare resin like this, to use the smoke, you have to build a fire first. They might make some kind of technology, but otherwise you have to build a fire. And in the same way, to really appreciate Zen teachings deeply, you have to build a fire. You have to bring the mind to a certain kind of concentrated, relaxed, sincere state of awareness and depth to really receive these teachings. So we can all experience some gratefulness for everyone who's gathered here, because it does bring this sense of aliveness. So Mickey, cooking my book cover. Oh, here, can put here. So we can see the mark of Zen right here. And this is where the teachings are in. So this is a good sign that the mark of Zen has appeared. So we've been reading through a book from a particular Zen teacher from Korea by the name of Poha Sunim. And we finished that. So we'll now have to find some other Zen teachings to read, and we have them here. So as we read through this, if you are inspired to ask a question or to speak up about something, you have the opportunity to do so. But we'll kind of read through this meditatively and try to let the teachings sink in deeply. So we'll start with some words from Zen Master Ma Zu on the normal mind. The way does not require cultivation. Just don't pollute it. What is pollution? As long as you have a fluctuating mind, fabricating artificialities and contrivances, all of this is pollution. If you want to understand the way directly, the normal mind is the way. What I mean by the normal mind is the mind without artificiality, the mind without contrivance, the mind without superficialness, without subjective judgments, without grasping or rejection. The normal mind is the way. So many have began the path of spirituality, meditation, looking for something special, looking to change their mind, looking for a kind of special experience, a special mind, not a normal mind. If you want to understand the way directly, the normal mind is the way. So what is it to have a normal mind? What is it to just sit? To just be aware of the breath? To just be aware of the body? Nothing complicated, nothing confusing, nothing added, nothing taken away. It's difficult to be in a position where we aren't chasing after something, where we aren't trying to avoid anything. But we can do it. It's our natural state. It's the ordinary mind. It's the normal mind. To just sit, to just be aware. Thoughts come and go. They can't interfere with this normal mind, with this ordinary mind. But we so often indulge in those thoughts. We so often pick up the sword of contrivance, the sword of complicatedness. I desire this, I desire that, get out of my way. How dare you use that? This relationship, that relationship, so much specialness, complicatedness. But actually to establish ourselves, to establish our way of living in this normal mind, this ordinary mind, is the greatest gift to ourselves, to other people. It is an endless field of benefaction. That is, An endless field of gift, donation, development. This ordinary mind, this normal mind, an endless field of gifts. And who doesn't want to receive gifts? Who among us? Who among us does not want to receive a gift? So if we consider that the normal mind, the ordinary mind that we all have, that is always accessible to us, that is always a breath away, not even away, it is the breath, is an endless field of gifts. Joy, peace, salvation. All those sufferings, all those doubts, all those fears, all forms of imprisonment, all forms of royalty. They couldn't compare to this normal, ordinary mind. So it's quite a celebration to be gathering in this way, to pick up, to practice, to remember, to embody this normal, ordinary, everyday mind. The way does not require cultivation. In some sense, does not require effort. Just don't pollute it. What is pollution? As long as you have a fluctuating mind, fabricating artificialities and contrivances, complicated ways of doing things, all of this is pollution. If you want to understand the way directly, if you want to understand the nature of all reality directly, the normal mind is the way. What I mean by the normal mind is the mind without artificiality, without subjective judgments, without grasping or rejection. The root. The founders of Zen said that one's own essence is inherently complete. Just don't linger over good or bad things. That is called practice of the way. To grasp the good and reject the bad. To contemplate emptiness and enter concentration is all in the province of contrivance. And if you go on seeking externals, you get further and further estranged. Just end the mental objectivization of the world. A single thought of the wandering mind is the root of birth and death in the world. Just don't have a single thought, and you will get rid of the root of birth and death. To grasp the good and reject the bad. To contemplate emptiness and enter concentration is all in the province of contrivance. And if you go on seeking things outside, you get further and further estranged, further and further disconnected from the way. Whether seeking inside for spiritual states or seeking outside for material things, material experiences. Just end the mental objectivization of the world. Stop objectifying anything. Stop objectifying everything. Just to be aware. Just to be normal, ordinary. Not relying on subjective thinking. No need to rely on words, phrases, stories, or beliefs. Just this normal, ordinary mind. Washing dishes, cleaning the body, making a fire, going for a walk. The normal, ordinary mind is the way. Delusion and enlightenment. Delusion means you are not aware of your own fundamental mind. Enlightenment means you realize your own fundamental essence. Once enlightened, you do not become deluded anymore. If you understand mind and objects, then false conceptions do not arise. When false conceptions do not arise, this is the acceptance of the beginninglessness of things. You have always had it, and you have it now. There is no need to cultivate the way and sit in meditation. if you understand the impermanence, the ever-changing nature of mind and objects, then false beliefs and attachments do not arise. This is the acceptance of the beginninglessness of things. You have always had it. You have it now. There is no need to cultivate the way and sit in meditation. Just this normal, ordinary mind. Not contrived, not complicated, not stuck in judgments of yourself or others, or hanging on to the strings of past or future. This normal, ordinary mind as it is. Wow. Just don't pollute it. My teacher said to me, from Zen Master Dazu, my teacher said to me, the treasure house within you contains everything and you are free to use it. You don't need to seek outside. How often do we only look inside and see fear, stress, worry, trauma, anxiety, depression? Oh, inside sounds so miserable. My teacher said to me, the treasure house within you contains everything, and you are free to use it. You do not need to seek outside. Maybe this whole time we've been looking in the wrong direction. Maybe our steps have come from a place of confusion, artificiality, holding on to subjective notions of right and wrong, good and bad. And because of that, being in a constant state of struggle, a constant state to get what we need from outside. Perhaps what Dazu's teacher said is true. The treasure house within you contains everything, and you are free to use it. You don't need to seek outside. You don't need to seek outside this normal, ordinary mind. Well, we will read one final verse here from Lin Ji, very famous master, very famous Zen teacher. We'll ring the bell, sit together for a few moments, enjoy the perfume of Zen that we have brought about, that we have brought up together. And then we will finish with a chanting of the Heart Sutra. So this final verse from Zen Master Linji. True perception and understanding. People who study Buddhism should seek real, true perception and understanding for now. If you attain real, true perception and understanding, birth and death don't affect you. You are free to go or stay. You needn't seek wonders, for wonders come of themselves. So make sure that you're comfortable. You can take a moment to adjust your posture. And in ringing the bell, returning to being with this normal, ordinary mind. We will now have a chanting of the Heart Sutra and two terms that I just want to make sure people understand. One is skandhas, which are the five aggregates, so forms, feelings, perceptions, formations, and consciousness. And also prajna paramita, which has a meaning of the deeper wisdom we experience in meditation, that seeing of impermanence, that deeper wisdom. And Avalovikiteshvara is the kind of this enlightened being of compassion in Mahayana Buddhism. So understanding all this, we will begin to chant the Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. We can all bring our hands together as a act of sincerity and community. Maha Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. When the Bodhisattva Avalovikiteshvara was coursing in the deeper Prajna Paramita, she realized that all the five skandhas are empty, thereby transcending all sufferings. O Shariputra, form is not other than emptiness, and emptiness not other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, and emptiness precisely form. So also are sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. Shariputra, this form of the emptiness of all dharmas is non-arising, non-perishing, non-impure, non-pure, non-increasing, and non-decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, and no sensation, perception, volition, or consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. No sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or thought. There is no realm of the eye all the way up to no realm of consciousness. There is no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, through to no aging and death, and no ending of aging and death. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom, and also no attainment. With nothing to attain, bodhisattvas relying on prajna paramita have no obstructions in their minds. Having no obstructions, there is no fear, and departing far from confusion and delusion, they reach ultimate nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, relying on prajna paramita, attain supreme Buddhahood. Therefore, the prajna paramita is the great mantra of power, the great mantra of wisdom, the supreme mantra and the unequaled mantra which is able to transcend all sufferings. It is real and not false. Therefore, he uttered the mantra of Prajna Paramita by saying, Gate, gate, para, samgate, bodhishva. So thank you, everyone who's here, for joining in our group meditation practice, our warmth of Zen coming together around the warmth of Zen. So at this time, if anyone would like to ask a question or share their experience, then at this time that's okay. And if you're ready to go, you can go. That's the end of our coming together in that way. Okay. So to finish then, we can all bring our hands together, unless Anna, do you want to ask a question?
Well, I actually wanted to share my experience because today, when you said that we observe our knees and what does it feel to have them, I I was feeling some pain on my knee because I forced it today while running. But then, since I was observing it, it simply stopped. It stopped hurting in some point, and I don't understand really why, but it was a relief. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Great. It's nice. Don't think too much about it. Don't
You
hold.
close your microphone, Bante.
You're on
Yeah,
mute.
so that's great, Anna. Don't think too much about it. Don't kind of just let it go. Just put it in the ash, put it into the fire and just let it burn down to ash. So don't think much about it. But it's nice when we can feel that our attention, our awareness can change our relationship to sensations, to feelings that we experience. That's really great.
Um, I wanted to say that recently, I started going to the gym and like running on the treadmill. And doing that, I felt like it's kind of like a body meditation because you're focusing on your body. And I noticed that you focus on your breath a lot when you're working out. You really have to focus on like studying it and keeping it at a, I don't know, you just really have to focus on it a lot. And when we were studying the meditation of the breath, there gets to a point where you start to feel the natural pleasure of the breath. And I think now when I start meditating, I can feel that a lot more. Like when you're working out, you get the natural like dopamine And so I kind of take the same breath work and use it while meditating. And now I feel like, not to talk about marijuana, but I be feeling that in my head, like when I'm just sitting here deep in like a meditation, like I can feel the natural pleasure of it. So I just think that's super cool to be aware of. Thank you.
The natural pleasure of the normal, ordinary mind through awareness of breath. Thank you, Maya. Wonderful teaching. Wonderful thing to share. Okay. So let's all bring our hands together and we will say this word sadhu. It's a chance to harmonize. It's a chance to let everyone in our house know that we are meditating. And this word sadhu means excellent, good, great, wonderful. We harmonize, we bring up this feeling of recognition of goodness, of wholesomeness, of simplicity. And we practice that, chanting that together, okay? So try to chant along if you can, even if you don't feel to put your hands together or something. You can just to harmonize, to use your voice in this way is very good. All right. So we chant this together 3 times. Sadhu. 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 All right. Many thanks, much appreciation to everyone supporting and participating. We can all feel grateful for each other, and somehow we start to get a relationship with people just by, especially if you can share your camera or if you can use your voice, but just by seeing these pictures, these people who stay and participate and practice with us, there's a feeling of we're practicing together. And so then when we do have the chance to hear from them or to know more about them, there's already this connection there. I really do feel that. Um, and of course, you know, maybe easy for me to say because I'm the one on camera, but that's been my experience with the members of the community who have stayed around and participate for a long time, even though we don't have, you know, long, in-depth conversations, relationships in the normal way. There is that relationship through practice of being alone together. So thank you, everyone, for being that here. See you soon. I hope I will see you tomorrow, whoever you are. Bye bye. And thank you for everyone who joined on YouTube today. Chesh, Kit, Tatio, Pulses in the Body. Sorry, I think I missed some of these questions on YouTube. Divinity is ordinary. Sure, sounds good. Pulses during meditation, just to notice them, just to be aware of them. And we can all keep practicing together, okay? Thank you for joining on YouTube.